All right, guys, welcome to Kitchen Daddy and happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. Come on, go and pop yourself a beer, put your feet up and enjoy being a dad. So anyway, last week I told a big lie. I said we were going to do cowboy steak. We are going to do cowboy steak with a lovely Cajun butter. However, we have got to cook the fridge. And if you are new to the Kitchen Daddy channel, every now and again we like to do a cook the fridge, which is where we get everything out of the fridge that needs eating. So this week we're making a beautiful roasted pork loin stuffed with the leftover apples from my kids' packed lunch. We're going to mix them together with some bacon, parsley, mustard, chives. Guys, we all know apple and pork is a classic combination, but we're going to make this absolutely delicious and so easy to do. So come on, for Father's Day, let's get into it. Right, to kick things off, let's grab a large bowl. Now I've got some leftover herbs just knocking around in the fridge there. We've got some chives, which we're going to finely chop up. Let's get them in the bowl. And I'm going to pick off a few of those thyme leaves. Now guys, I love my kids, but when they come home and they've not eaten their apples from school, that really bugs me. It really bugs me because I hate food waste. I hate checking out any food. So what I normally do, I end up either kind of like cooking them off and then adding them to porridge or oatmeal. But I thought, you know what, let's do this with the pork now. So I've got these apple slices. We're actually using Honeycrisp apples. Now they will hold their shape when they cook. They're not going to break down like some other apples. So we want to chop them up nice and fine. And then that way we're going to get a good distribution throughout the stuffing. So they look great. Let's get them into the bowl. Now I do actually want to add a little bit more green, so I've got some flat leaf parsley, which we're going to finely chop up. And now we can add our bacon. So I've got some lovely smoky bacon here. Now we want to dice that up to roughly the same size as the apple. Okay, let's get that in. Now we need to season that with some salt, a good heaped teaspoon of Dijon mustard, and I've got a little bit of panko breadcrumbs here, not much guys. So let's get that in, splash of oil, and let's give that a really good mix together. Now I've actually cut the pork loin in two, so that way I can show you two ways to cook it. First up, we're going to stuff it, tie it, do it all lovely and fancy. The second way is going to be super quick, where we're going to butterfly it. So if you are short on time and you don't want the faff of having to stuff it, get out of jail free card. That's what I was trying to say. Anyway, come on, let's get into this now. So let's grab the pork loin. We're just going to cut down the middle of that. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is just start scoring down there so we can open this out quite well. The reason I like to do the scoring, guys, is because that way when we get the stuffing on there, you can get some of that stuffing mixture into the pockets rather than just having a flat piece stuffing, then another flat piece. It kind of works its way in. Let's give that a good season. Now let's grab a handful of stuffing and we're going to spread that all over. Okay, let's fold that over. We're going to tie that up with some butcher's string. And guys, we'll probably do a separate video on how to use butcher's string, how to tie a butcher's knot and all that kind of stuff. We'll do that on a separate video, okay? Now I've got some leftover celeriac from last week's video. I've diced that up with some red onion. We're going to get that into a cast iron pan. We need some salt, splash of olive oil. Let's mix that all together. Now let's get the joint on top of that. We also need to give that a splash of oil and a pinch of salt. Now let's get that in the oven, 400 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to cook that for probably about 30 to 35 minutes, depending on the thickness of your joint of meat. And you all know how to test that. It's got to give it a good prod and you know when that's done. When that's going to feel almost like that, you know that's going to be done, okay? Okay, now for the quick version. So the loin of pork, we've done exactly the same thing. So we've just opened that up and scored down there. Now let's add a good pinch of salt. I've got a large frying pan on a really nice high heat. Let's add a splash of oil and let's get that in. Now we're going to cook that for about 2 or 3 minutes on each side until it's got a nice little bit of colour on there. Once that's done, let's grab the stuffing mixture. We want to pile that all over the top. Don't worry if some of it falls off, that's going to be great. Now let's get that in the oven. Again, it's 400 degrees Fahrenheit, 200 degrees Celsius. We're going to cook that for only probably about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay guys, here we go. Pork number 1, the quick pork. That is looking absolutely fantastic. I know the pork is cooked through. You can see it's nice and firm. The meat's got that, that kind of resistance. So we know that it's cooked. However, if you look at some of the stuffing, you can see, we've got some of the bacon. It's cooked, but it's not lovely and caramelized. And we want some of that fat to render out. So all we're going to do here, let's scrape that off into the pan. Now I'm going to get the pork out. We're going to let that rest. So we've got to let it rest for probably about 10 minutes or so, 5 to 10 minutes. So on a gentle heat, which is quite difficult to do on this gas burner, but on a gentle heat, let's just cook that out. Because I just want to caramelize all of that lovely bacon and make sure all of that is just nice and crispy. So we've got some better textures with the stuffing. And here we go guys, the stuffed pork loin is looking absolutely amazing. Let's get that off. We're going to let that rest again for about 10 minutes or so. And just with the celeriac, we've got some nice colour on the bottom. I'm just going to turn that onto a gentle heat and move that around the pan. And that way, all that celeriac is going to get that lovely golden brown colour. Here we go guys, so we've got the beautiful loin of pork there. That looks stunning. I mean, come on, look at those vegetables. Oh, how simple is that for a beautiful side dish? It smells amazing. And then this, if you don't want the faff of tying all that up, how easy is that to do? How easy. And I just love that over the top. You just know that in a bun, in a lovely baguette, that is going to be the most incredible sandwich, isn't it? So I don't care about trying the pork. What I want to try is the stuffing. Oh my gosh, come here, come here. Oh man. Guys. Oh. Do you know it's magic? Sorry, I've got to try some of the celeriac to go with that. Man, that is so good, guys. The mustard, just gives it a really good hit. The smokiness, it's smoked bacon, so it's just fantastic. And then you just get the sweet tartness from the apples. Oh man. Oh. I don't know which one to hold up. We'll do this one. Get in the comments. Give us a thumbs up. Go and look after your dad. Tell him how amazing he is. And I'll see you next week, hopefully, for some cowboy steak with Cajun butter. Anyway, guys, great to see you, man. I'm going to enjoy that. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.